Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
Namaskar.
welcome,
Namaskara.
खुशामदीद,
Assalamu alaikum.
सत श्री अकाल,
మీకు అందరికీ వందనములు.
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जिनेंद्र,
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं याली मदद.
मौलानी बल्लभ बोलते हैं सारे फीजी मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा मुला बंजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारा. मैं से फालतू बाबा.
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time show that's going to make it totally exciting and totally mastani बदल जाने.
And of course, Bajan, a sad news coming out this morning of what's happening in downtown San Jose. उसके बारे में जानकारी देंगे आप लोग. Bajan, we'll get to those things in a few minutes. Bajan, उससे पहले let's look at what's happening in the traffic with रास्ते का हाल total सस्ते में.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Banjan. If you are actually on the road and we share some information or which is inaccurate, or you actually saying, hey, Baba, yahan pe to bada traffic hai, you don't share about it, give us a call here, 408-912-2479. We'll take your calls of what's happening over here, Banjan. And let me tell you, the traffic-wise, dekha jaye to East Bay and North Bay looking very sluggish today. Why? I have no idea. Could be the start of the weekend because many people actually already traveling to their weekend destinations. But there's a severe traffic alert. It's been on for almost 1 hour right now. It's actually because of a traffic collision with injuries on 880 southbound. The backup is so huge. It starts all the way from the is this the Castro Valley all the way until it goes up all the way until the Colosseum. Almost that's a huge backup of so many exits out there. It's literally a stop and go traffic. It's in dark red color. That means you can imagine how bad it is. And similar kind of a situation also happening at the on 880 northbound of the North 880 ramp in Oakland. There also you have a lot of congestion going on there, and sluggish traffic in San Francisco is always expected. And El Cerrito ke aspas we also there's a huge backup of traffic. It does not say why, but they see seems to be a backup of traffic over there. And of course, Banjan, if you go further up towards the East Bay, Concord side also, there's an accident which actually is near Port Chicago Highway in Concord. The left lane is affected there, and there is a backup of traffic in that region, Banjan. Well, I should say this, as the economy is opening up, people are feeling more relaxed, and there's a sense of joy in people that they're able to get back to their routines, which was a year ago. Now, how easy it's going to be, how difficult it's going to be, some of the discussion we're going to have for sure. We'll talk about these on our shows, as you know, on the Pam Pam show, on the Good Morning, we talk about it and everything. Weather-wise, let me tell you, it's going to be nice and hot today. It's going to be in the upper 70s, but not too hot. Yes, you're right, but sunny all the way into the weekend as well. So if you're planning to stay home and not go anywhere, you're going to have wonderful weather here over the weekend as well. Maximum highs of be like, pretty much in mid-80s, I suppose. But next week, promising that, there's going to be more high temperatures. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll definitely share with you guys as we go by. Lekin abhi ke liye, I really want to know about what's happening with the news for you guys. Locally, of course, we're going to start off with the local headlines and also what's happening nationally. Falguni, ready for it?
Right, absolutely.
Go ahead, please.
From the Radio Jihadi studios right here in the Silicon Valley, Banjan, these are the news in detail from across the Bay Area and also across the United States. Multiple people were killed and multiple people injured Wednesday morning, that is this morning, after a shooting at a Valley Transportation Authority yard north of downtown San Jose, according to authorities. Details were limited, but the incident involved multiple fatalities and multiple casualties, Santa Clara County Sheriff's officials said during a briefing on Wednesday morning. They did not yet confirm how many victims were shot. The shooter also is supposedly dead right now. At about 6:35 a.m., San Jose police police received multiple 911 calls about gunfire at the VTA yard, and units responded to the scene at Younger Avenue and San Pedro Street. Dozens of San Jose police and Santa Clara County Sheriff's vehicles responded to the scene. Sheriff's officials confirmed at about 8:10 a.m. that the shooter was actually dead, but the cause of death was not immediately clear. The county building at 70 West Heading Street in San Jose was serving as a reunification center for VTA employees and families who may be looking for each other. Sheriff's officials have said grief counselors are also on site. We'll bring you more details as the story unfolds right here, Vadjan, on Good Morning Bay, and also on the Pam Pam Show tonight. If you have more details, we'll share that as well. In other local news, San Jose city leaders yesterday approved Google's downtown West mixed-use project, making it the largest development deal in the city's history. Google's massive campus in the area of Durion Station and SAP Center will house offices for up to 25,000 workers and include 4,000 homes, some of which will be classified as affordable. The City Council voted unanimously Tuesday night to approve the project. Mayor Sam Liccardo said that it's a win for everyone. The city wouldn't cut taxes or fees. There would be no land giveaways. Google wanted simply to be treated fairly and to have predictably that if they followed the rules, they'd be able to move forward. And of course, Google did far more than follow rules. They made a massive commitment to the community as well. The project also calls for 500,000 square feet of retail, cultural, arts, educational, hotel, and other active uses, as well as 15 acres of parks and plazas. It's also one of the most significant and transformative large-scale transit-oriented developments happening in the entire world, Council member Dave Davis said. While most of them spoke in favor of the project Tuesday night, some housing advocates also expressed concern. In order to offset the rising rents that will be caused by the Google plan, we would need 5,000 new affordable housing units, said Sandy Perry, president of the Affordable Housing Network. The Google plan includes some affordable housing units, but not as much. They are only offering about 2,000 units, which are going to be affordable, is what they're saying. As a sea level rise threat grows, San Francisco officials don't have a public plan to save sewers. That's right, because Bay Area low-lying sewage treatment plants remain vulnerable to rising sea levels. Government regulators told sewage facility managers to provide a written plan for coping with SLR by the fall of 2021, or that they will be given a plan. The NBC Bay Area Investigative Unit apparently reached out to 10 at-risk sewage treatment plants to see how they have planned for rising water levels. All except one provided extensive documents of their proposals, the cost to address them, and even provided tours of completed work. San Francisco's Public Utilities Commission replied to the investigative unit's public records request that after a diligent search for records, no records were actually found. That is actually wherever I'm turning to, Altababa, I'm getting this whole feedback about rising sea levels. Every project that I'm looking at is rising sea levels. Is that such an imminent threat right now?
Yeah. That's true, because if you look at the climate change, there was a discussion about this a couple of days ago, and what they realize is over a period of so many years, right, the sea level has risen by 9 inches.
Wow.
That's quite a bit. That's almost like, if you look at globally, right?
Yeah.
The one is the ice caps are melting. Why? What's happening? It's all connected to the way we are treating the earth, is what they're saying. Scientists are saying that that's going to be a start of it, and you slowly start seeing that, the temperature is also going to increase. Like San Francisco is going to be gearing up for a very hot summer.
Oh.
So yeah, it's going to be in the 90s pretty much, because the maximum they've had is 80s, where it's a peak summer, but it's going to be in 85, and they say that eventually go up to 90 as well. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is it's got the night temperatures of San Francisco also will remain the same, and this might even affect the ecology of the place.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of things happening there, Mananjan. And yes, demands are put on everybody for the matter, not only the big corporates, even us. We need to be more cautious about how we utilize. I think we should take a lesson from last year.
Yeah.
We need to take a lesson last year, saying that we're not all that. We got to work with the nature, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
San Francisco supervisors voted 7-4 to make the San Francisco Municipal Railway free from July 1st to September 1st. People have talked about free Muni for decades, and today we took a historic step towards making it a reality. Supervisor Dean Preston said, "This is the perfect time to put money into riders' pockets, bring people back onto public transit, and live up to our transit first mandate. People are excited, and we can't wait to get started," is what Preston said as he introduced the measure to the board. So this is if you're planning to go to San Francisco, then Madhajan, starting June 1st, you get to ride the Muni. I don't know. Have you ever written it?
To San Francisco, no.
The Muni in San Francisco, right?
No, I haven't.
Me neither. I should go on that.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Well, Banjan, in news from across the United States, the United States steps up pursuit of far-right activists in the 2016 voter suppression probe. The indictment of a far-right internet activist on charges of interfering with the 2016 U.S. election reflects a strategic shift by the Department of Justice and sets the stage for new cases against more prominent right-wing actors, according to people familiar with the matter. Federal prosecutors debated for years whether and how to pursue criminal cases against Americans suspected of disseminating false voting instructions to manipulate the election. 3 people with knowledge of the discussions have said. The United States also, Banajan, right now, United States President Joe Biden's ATF nominee Chipman confronts disinformation in the Senate hearing. U.S. President Joe Biden's pick to head the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives on Wednesday confronted head-on a social media disinformation campaign against him, telling a Senate committee he played no part in a deadly encounter between agents and members of a cult in Waco, Texas in 1993. David Chipman, a gun control advocate with more than 2 decades of law enforcement experience at the ATF, early in the hearing addressed doctored images circulating on social media that are falsely described as showing him in the rubble of a compound where 76 Branch Davidians and 4 federal agents died in a botched raid. "That is not me," he said in a testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Wednesday, adding that the photo circulated online was taken at Waco, but that it does not depict an actual ATF agent. He said that he worked on the trial team for the government after the incident and noted that he was selected for his role specifically because he had no involvement with the actual case. In other news, Bandajan, from the tech world, Amazon, right? Amazon Inc. on Wednesday said that it's buying MGM, the fabled US movie studio home to the James Bond franchise, for $8.45 billion, giving it a huge library of films and TV shows and ramping up competition with streaming rivals led by Netflix and Disney+. The deal aims to bolster Amazon's television-focused studio with new and historic filmmaking from MGM, which has claimed other lucrative series including Rocky, Pink Panther, etc. since its founding in 1924. So that's another huge buy, right? $8.45 billion. They've bought the MGM studio. So more on that you'll find on MediaMahima.com. Those are the headlines from across the United States and the Bay Area.
And of course, we'll come back to the world news for you guys in just a few minutes. But उससे पहले आपको एक छोटा सा झलक दे देंगे आज का गाने का कीड़ा के ऊपर. And कीड़ा मतलब कीड़े नहीं, कीड़ा के ऊपर. It's going to be a song which you can listen to right now, Bajan. And the song I picked for you for a movie which actually, I didn't see the movie, but I like the songs in the movie for sure. This is for the movie called Rock On. Nah, not the one, but 2. Talks about a new destination. Let's all go to a new destination, Bajan. Things are opening up right now. We have to come to a new normal. Let's establish together, safe, sound, and of course responsible.
चल कहे दिल जिधर चल जाए हम वहीं पल पल हर कदम पाएंगे हम एक मंजर नया पल पल हर कदम पाएंगे हम मंजर नया.
A movie directed by Sujat Saudagar Bandajan and music by Shankar Ehsaan Loy, and of course lyrics by Javed Akhtar Saab, voiced of course you can recognize the raspy voice of Farhan Akhtar.
चल थकना रुकना क्या, चल यूं ही चलता चल, पल पल हर कदम पाएंगे हम एक मंजर नया, पल पल हर कदम पाएंगे हम मंजर नया.
गाना और बजेगा आपके लिए, but it's a beautiful song. It has a lot of meaning to it. And right now, what really gives meaning to you guys, I'm sure, is the news update we give you for what's happening around the world. So, Faltwani, take it away.
Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko said on Wednesday a journalist pulled off a plane that was forced to land in Minsk had been plotting a rebellion, and a bloody one at that, and he accused the West of waging a hybrid war against him. In his first public remarks since the Belarusian warplane intercepted a Ryanair flight on Sunday between European Union members Greece and Lithuania, he showed no hint of backing down from confrontation with countries that accuse him of air piracy. As we predicted, our ill-wishers from outside the country and from inside the country changed their methods of attack on the state, Lukashenko told the parliament. They've crossed many red lines and have abandoned common sense and human morals, he said, referring to a hybrid war without giving any details. United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson was disastrously slow to impose a lockdown in 2020 because he thought COVID-19 was a scare story. Remember, that was reflecting whatever his friend here, Donald Trump, was doing at that time. And even considered getting injected with coronavirus on live television to show that it was benign, his former chief advisor said. Johnson subsequently got COVID-19 early in the pandemic and was so ill that he was moved to intensive care at a London hospital, where he received liters and liters of oxygen. He later said plans had been prepared to announce his death even, apparently. In a blistering attack on the British state, Dominic Cummings told lawmakers that the government was completely unprepared for the worst public health crisis in decades, and that ministers, including the Prime Minister, were on holiday in February 2020, some even skiing when the world was raging with this pandemic. Such was Johnson's skepticism about COVID-19. He even told officials he was considering getting the government's chief medical advisor to inject him with the novel coronavirus to show the public there was not a big threat. And why is this coming out right now? Because his former advisor is coming out against the UK government, saying how bad their response has been to COVID-19, and a lot of it has to be attributed to the leader, Mr. Boris Johnson. The European Union seeks large AstraZeneca fine for an alleged contract breach. A lawyer of the European Union accused AstraZeneca on Wednesday of failing to respect its contract with the 27-nation bloc for the supply of COVID-19 vaccines, and asked a Belgian court to impose a large fine on the company. The EU took the Anglo-Swedish firm to court in April after the drug maker said it would aim to deliver only 100 million doses of its vaccine by the end of June instead of the 300 million foreseen in the supply contract. Brussels wants the company to deliver at least 120 million vaccines by the end of June. AstraZeneca has so far delivered 50 million doses by the beginning of May, just a quarter of the 200 million doses foreseen in the contract by then. Taiwan directly accused China for the first time on Wednesday of blocking a deal with Germany's BioNTech for COVID-19 vaccines in an escalating war of words between Beijing after Beijing offered the shots to the island via a Chinese company. Taiwan has millions of shots on order from AstraZeneca and Moderna, but has received only slightly more than 700,000 to date and has only been able to vaccinate about 1% of its population as COVID-19 COVID-19 cases surge. While Taiwan has previously said that it had been unable to sign a final contract with BioNTech, it had only implied that Chinese pressure was to blame. China claims Taiwan as its territory and frequently puts pressure on countries and firms to curtail their dealings with the island and instead to go through them directly. So you can get more information about that too on MediaMahima.com. In the meanwhile, Banujan, Belgium says that they have halted giving the Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine for people under age 41 following the death of a woman from severe side effects after she was given the shot. The Interministerial Conference has decided to temporarily administer Janssen's vaccine to the general population from the age of 41 years, pending a more detailed benefit-risk analysis by the EMA. And of course, Banujan, antibiotics for COVID-19 patients in India worsen the India superbug crisis because antibodies obviously reduce your body's immune response, and that is what is even worsening the situation in India. Also, India is soon going to be getting 4 advanced Israeli drones for surveillance along the line of actual control. And cyclone Yas has ravaged Bengal and Odisha. More on that you'll find on MediaMahima.com. That's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Babe. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Here's the final iteration of our Ganya Ka Kida. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday.
राहें कम नहीं चल कहे दिल जिधर चल जाए हम वहीं पल पल हर कदम पाएंगे हम मंजर नया.
Hi, this is Farhan Akhtar and you're listening to Radio The Hotties, where the entertainment just keeps getting hotter.
Maza aa raha hai na? Great music, Banujan, for the best.